I didn't actually click it. It's in a weird spot. It's in like not at all where you would look. This
God
is I
damn
didn't.
it!
I
Well, at least
know
you figured it
it's in a
out.
weird spot.
Hey,
It's in like
give me a countdown.
yeah. No,
Are
we're
we?
live. We're live now.
Oh God, we're live now. Okay. Hi everyone. Sorry.
Hi.
Despite some of us working at YouTube, we're figuring things. No. Um.
uh, all right. So, welcome to our first Megan Paul Talk anime. I like want to look at you. You're on the other screen, but you're not
Oh
actually.
yeah. Like, should I be angled this way? Is that the right
No,
orientation
you
for
have
how
to
I
be
am on the
angled the
screen?
other way.
Oh, this way.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's like flipped. Got it. Got it.
yeah,
Okay. I'm
yeah.
ready.
It's good.
Hello everyone. Thank you for showing up. It's
Yeah,
our
thanks.
first
Thanks for
foray
showing
into a
up.
podcast. Uh, should I intro or you intro or how are we introing?
You can intro. I want to hear
Okay.
this.
Oh God, I didn't like prepare anything. Hi, I'm Paul, and this is my friend Meg. We were talking about doing a podcast of some variety just for fun. Be more quiet. Now, see, I'm not a VTuber yet. I don't have to do that. So we were trying to come up with an idea to do, and somehow we landed on anime. And then mutual friend was like, "Oh boy, do I have an anime for you guys to
Yeah.
watch?" Yeah.
So
And actually, we should explain that. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
well, it's also important, right? Like, I actually like I love Japan. I love a lot of Japanese culture and food and like, but I just somehow have never really gotten into anime or JRPGs or any sort of games. Just
Hey,
very,
Meg, have you
very.
played Pokemon?
I've not played Pokemon. Um,
How many
and
how many anime have you watched? Like, what are they?
I actually own one, and I watched it years ago. And it's Graveyard of the Butterflies, I think.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I think it's Fireflies, but
Or
yes.
whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember coming home during college in film school, and it was on a random cable channel that doesn't exist anymore, and it bawled my eyes out, and I thought it was really, really beautiful. I've seen Ponyo, and then I'm halfway through the Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then Agretzko.
Oh
That's
right, yeah, Gretzko. Okay, so like you've seen some, because my concern here is this is like normal seasonal anime, not like movie anime, and much like television versus movies, there's definitely a difference in terms of quality and production and like what kind of the show's about.
I mean, the production was what I thought it would be, but I
Like
don't.
if people talk about like Spirited Away
Sure,
or Your
sure,
Name,
sure.
like they're like, oh, it's so beautiful and blah this and blah that, and I'm like, that can happen in a seasonal anime, but that's would not say that's the expectation for a lot of them. But
I don't even know where to place this one. I
oh, I mean, yeah, we'll get into it. That's what we're here to explain. At least, sorry. So the rough format of the show is Meg has not watched a lot of anime. I watch anime regularly. Like I keep up with the season. I don't watch every show, but you know, I kind of find the ones I like. I like talking about anime to watch with people, but beyond that, I'm too lazy to read manga. Sorry, and I don't like collect figurines or anything. I also have never been to Japan, so like, there's an interesting Meg has and I haven't, and then flip for anime thing. But so Meg is going to be reacting sort of to the show, and I'm gonna try and help explain some of that because she might need help.
there's a lot to explain, and also I
There's a lot
already
to explain. Oh, so I
pinged.
forgot. So like, so a mutual friend was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you should watch this anime,"
yeah.
and I'm like, "Why would you pick that?" Uh, and he had not seen the anime, so he was just kind of like, it's kind of a troll pick, maybe. But we'll get into that. So
Oh, it
do we
feels
want
like
to
a
start with
troll
like
pick.
first impressions?
It feels like a
Do
hardcore
you want to
troll
start
pick.
with first
Yeah.
impressions? Are we
Okay.
gonna get into it? Are we ready?
So let's. I did a little prep. All right. So, oh, you have to look at the live stream since you can't see what I'm looking at. I
Oh,
googled the name of Uzaki-Chan wants to hang out, and was presented with
all
this
right, yeah.
image. And
I'm gonna assume I know what it is.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have the. I'll open up the stream in another window.
So
Continue.
I was just like, So this also kind of came at the tail end of you guys playing a game, and by you guys, I mean Nick and Trevor, of showing me pictures of anime gifs, and I would just randomly assign them names because I didn't know what was what, and I have really weird ideas about like
Really
what
frustrating
are
for me.
norms.
Yeah.
And so we get this one, and I'm like, why are her boobs so big? And then I think there was some
Sugoi
sort of
Dekai.
what?
That's why.
What?
Sugoi Dekai. It says it on the shirt. That's why.
I don't know what that. I took a note on
It
that.
was in the first episode. It very clearly called out that it means
Yeah, I wrote it
like
down
super,
somewhere.
super big,
Yeah, super big, super huge was what I got.
super huge.
But I was like, but I didn't know that. Like before we started, I was just like, okay,
Oh, sure. You wouldn't
yeah.
know that.
So I wrote down that like my initial reaction, or just like I was like, okay, so she's probably gonna be annoying. I'm guessing that this is like a thing where someone has to overcome her annoyingness in college, and her big boobs are gonna be a plot point. And so that's what I went into, and then tried to avoid any other spoilers or things. Yeah.
I feel like I should explain. In anime, boobs are a plot point.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? I don't know why. I can't give you an exact reason why. It's frequently a plot point. Big boobs, small boobs. There's only two types. Actually, I guess there's like medium, big, small, whatever. It's always a plot point. It's a frequent plot point. And this, I mean, I could say part of it is just because Japanese standards of like what is or isn't okay to talk about is different to some extent. Like obviously America has a very like non-nudity, non-sexual, but like guns are totally fine type thing.
Yeah. So
In
boobs are
Japan,
equally as fine in Japan? Are you
Japan
saying
was
boobs
not
are the
like
American
that.
equivalent of like violence?
What?
Are you saying boobs are the American equivalent of violence?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying Japan in this case because it is Japanese media, but like
Sure.
you could argue a lot of countries are more okay with nudity.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
could say
yeah,
the
for
same thing
sure.
about like France.
Yeah, I remember going to
Um,
like Amsterdam when I was 18 on a family trip and just like flipping through channels and being like, "Oh, cool, there's just porn. Got it. Cool."
yeah. So like at this point, like you have to understand there's a lot of like meta and tropes and building on top of what's happening. But yeah, if you go back, there's a lot of talk of boobs. Something that I was actually looking for when I rewatched the first episode, also that's a trope that I don't think happened, was there was no panty shot.
No, I didn't see any.
That's just a
I
thing
would have written
in
that
anime.
down. Like
Yeah, you would have written that down. But
I
anyway,
have a lot of
I
notes,
feel
people.
like yeah. I feel like I interrupted you. Okay, so you're like, here's my impression based on just looking at the box art.
Yep. Yeah. No,
Good
it was just the
job.
box art. And then I also learned like I paid for Funimation, and then apparently there's an app on my TV that I just like it just download Funimation and it works. So I watched it twice.
Oh, good.
I watched it the first time pausing to make notes of kind of anything that stood out, and then I watched it a second time the whole way through. Why? Like,
Why what?
so I guess like the plot. This is obviously spoilers. It starts out.
Oh yeah, sorry, we're gonna be spoiling. I'm assuming I should only talk about things that happened in the first episode, but spoiling the first episode.
Yeah. So okay.
Okay.
We open, and I didn't get the shot of her, but like it's an opening scene. It's obviously setting the like environment that we're gonna be watching in, establishing shots. Cat shows up, which I didn't really pay attention to the pause walking the first time. I caught it the second time. Then it's just like a side up angle of her boobs, and then you come to Sakurai, and he's just like minding his own business. He has anime hair. I qualify that as anime hair. It's very spiky. It's anime
Okay,
hair.
sure.
And then she runs up screaming, and that kind of sets it off right before the credits. And it's interesting that like on screen it gives you very establishing facts, just like straight up telling you of like, he is 19 and he is a sophomore, and she is 18 and she is a freshman. And then you get a brief glimpse of a flashback, and then basically it establishes this premise that he is quote unquote a loner, and that is clearly very awful to Uzaki. And she watches him for a year in college being a loner and alone, and it's like, oh no, this won't stand. And so she goes and harasses him to hang out, and then that's the rest of the episode. And I have lots of other notes on that, but that was my takeaway of what that to me is like. Okay, she's gonna try and coax this guy out of his shell. She's hell bent on it, and I assume at some point they have a romance, because I assume that's how these things go. But I mean, that was the log line of the show for me would be Uzaki is determined to bring a childhood friend out of his shell.
Whoa, don't go throwing childhood friend out there. That's a strong word.
But they have establishing shots of like he was in swimming and she.
No, I get that, but you can't say childhood friend. Like in anime, childhood friend is a trope. Like can't say that.
Why can't you? But if that's true,
like they're not children. They're in like high school.
No. Okay, but still, like, would you not call your like high school friends at this point like
childhood friends?
Yeah.
No, I would not call them childhood friends.
What would you call them?
Friends from high school.
Okay, all right.
Like we were not children when we were friends. We were teens.
Yeah, you're still baby brains.
That's fine. I guess my point is like if you watched more anime, you would like it's a classic trope, especially in harem anime, to have like the childhood friend, right?
Yeah.
And there'll be like other like it's actually kind of upsetting because the other characters will have like interesting personalities, and it'll be like, oh, this is the one that they've known since childhood, so like that's a reason to be romantic, I guess. But yeah.
Also, does school start in Japan in the spring?
Yes. The Japan is trimesters, I believe. And yeah, classic trope anime thing, and also just true in Japan of like cherry blossoms, it's when school starts. Yeah.
Also, why was the word negotiation in the intro song?
What do you mean?
Like they're like singing, and like the only English word that comes across is negotiation.
Sorry, I was looking at chat.
I know,
can't explain
it's
why theme
hard.
songs pick the words that they pick. Like, God, I don't want to get into like anime intro outro songs right now. But yeah,
the troll. By the way, chat. The chair
Japanese
I'm in.
Music in general. Oh yeah, Japanese intro music and intros, like they just throw in English words because they do. I can't explain that.
Okay, yeah, negotiation.
I'm sorry you're hung up on that one. I can't.
Yeah, and then like I assume it was some other characters, and then I also have "Butt Out?" question mark, which was an opening shot. Anyhow, so that was my first page on just like, okay, I guess we're in spring. There's cat. Also, the cat. We need to talk about the cat real quick. The cat was very upsetting to me.
Let's talk about the cat. Why is the cat upsetting?
Look at it. It's very like there's other cats you see, but like he also feels very round in a way that is reminiscent of her boobs. Like it's like too round. Like it doesn't look right.
What are you talking about?
This cat, like there's just something that looks not right about this cat.
Okay, the cat's eyes are wrong. Like, yes, it is intentionally a like wrong looking cat. And I don't want to spoil what else happens with the cat in the show. Okay, not a lot happens with the cat in the show. The cat is a recurring character that frequently is doing that, what you're showing, which is just like big eyes, weird face, like reacting, kind of being a perv. But the thing that I'm taking offense at is you're like, its eyes look like her boob, and I'm like, I don't see that at all. That's just weird.
It's drawn distinctly differently than the other cats, and I wasn't sure why. I mean, like this, like there's. I also wrote down like there's
because the cat's perving with eyes, like it's like you know Looney Tunes eyes, like big eyes, like yeah.
Also, why is being a loner so bad? Is it like super bad in Japanese culture? Like, also, it's like, what is her motivation? I don't know. Like,
It says it in the you're like, well, it seems like she wants to hang out with the guy, and I'm like, well, that's the name. It's Uzaki-Chan wants to hang out.
but
Um,
it could have gotten anywhere from there.
what what? Okay.
Um,
Okay, hold on. So, and like we can come back to the loner thing. I would argue yes, there are like. Anyway, so yeah, Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. I heard this on a different podcast. Apparently, her name Uzaki-chan is like a pun. So in
oh,
Japanese, it's like sort of similar to annoying person.
that makes sense.
Something about that. So yeah, she's intentionally supposed to be an annoying person, and then like for people who are, how do I pick an anime to watch? Like when I get the start of a new season, I'm like, let me look up the name of the anime and see what it is. Frequently I ended up on Wikipedia, and I'm like, okay, this is a genre, a comedy slice of life, right? So like expectations,
Wait, that's the
it's going to
genre for
try and make
this?
jokes.
A slice of life?
Yeah, and I'd also argue romance, but yeah.
Rom com?
Do you know what slice of life is? Yes, it's a rom-com of sorts. Yes.
Slice of life is weird. Okay, continue.
Yeah, God, I was having a discussion with someone trying to explain what slice of life even is. I would argue this is not as slice of life as anime can get. By which I mean, like, there's slice of life where it's just like the whole plot of the anime is it's just some friends hanging out in a club room in like high school, and like that's the anime.
Wait, really?
And I enjoy watching that sometimes, depending on the. Why is that? Yes, really.
But like, there's drama that happens between them, right?
No.
What?
Like when you were in high school, I was gonna say, was there drama that happened between you? Sure, but it's not like a story drama. Like the comparison, I'm borrowing this again. I'm really sorry. Is someone's like slice of life is sort of like Terrace House. I've never actually watched Terrace House. This may be completely wrong,
I don't know what
but my
Terrace House
understanding
is.
of Terrace House, in terms of okay, never mind. This is a useless metaphor. There's not a lot of television or media that is slice of life. Yes, but it's just kind of like people hanging out having a day, right? And like it's kind of calm and relaxing, and like you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you know.
Okay.
Which is like what this show. It's like, okay, like there's these two people, they know each other, they're gonna hang out. Like that's
That
another
actually
friend of ours,
helps.
like, oh, like the pilot. Go ahead.
That helps for pacing. Like, I didn't know where or what to really. Obviously, we're doing this because I don't know what the heck to expect. But I didn't. It's just like you don't watch The Mandalorian, but I describe The Mandalorian as more vibe than it is show because it's like a thing might happen, but the overarching plot that I personally would want to see from that show is not there, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna vibe with Mandalorian, and he's gonna do some shit in space, and that's it. And so I feel like what you're saying is I should expect for other episodes is like they're just gonna hang. Like, it's literally just the title.
I'm seeing Lil mention in chat that New Girl is slice of life, and I kind of agree with that, but also like American television, like sitcom and romance shows, they need to have like very clear arcs, and like so like I watched New Girl and I enjoyed the first season of it. It was like very slice of lifey or whatever, and like they just have to make shit go wrong to keep going. It was sort of like the same thing of like if you try and follow the romance arc in Big Bang Theory of the seasons I watched of Big Bang Theory, like they have to the way it's like a difference in production. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. So like American television is like, okay, you have a pilot and we see how broad an audience we can hit with it, right? Because we want to try and get as many people to watch as possible. And then like we have a season and we see how it goes. And like if people like it, we will keep making seasons of it until it like people hate it and it tanks. And like would you say that's roughly how American television works?
Sure. We'll say sure.
I mean, like, go ahead. You can give me some nuance. Like, what am I missing here? Like, occasionally they'll be like, let's call it
You
and like
pick
end it on a good note.
demographics.
But rarely do
You
they
pick
have
a
like an
demographic.
idea in mind.
Yeah, you pick a demographic, right? So that like ultimately a network has a expansive lineup to hit with advertisers to pay for said shows.
Okay, but like in terms of running it into the ground, like that part, you're not gonna.
No.
Okay. So.
Because I didn't keep watching
So
New Girl. New Girl, it was classic American will they not, and that was what people were really into because I think like everyone, this damn chair just keeps rolling.
get a better chair.
It's this I'm in the better chair.
Okay.
It's it kind of goes back to Friends and a bunch of other American TV of just
Yeah.
like people
This
that
is
like
why I don't watch American TV. This is why I watch
there's
anime.
some good American TV, Paul.
There's not good American TV.
Yes, there
So
is.
anyway, so like there's this obvious thing in American TV where like the show will go on until like they decide it can't go on anymore. Or the writers have run out of enough ideas, right? Like I can think of some where like Archer is like, okay, well, let's keep changing the setting or something to keep it interesting. And then even then they're like, okay, we're done. Anime, very different. So a lot of anime are based on like a manga or a light novel or
What's a
a
light
game.
novel? Like a novella?
I'm trying to think of like what the right comparison would be. Like what makes a light novel distinct from a novel. I think it's probably like the appeal that it's going for.
Okay.
So like I don't want to say it's like young adult. Like it's kind of trashy, right? Like 50 Shades of Grey is kind of the level of writing and appeal of like a light novel.
What?
Maybe
I
that's
do
wrong.
not follow that at all. Are you
Hunger
saying like
Games,
light? Wait. Light novel, as in not that it's short, that it's just like you don't have to be totally invested.
Okay, so you're like I guess explaining what your 50. I'm sure some people were very invested in 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I guess.
Like my point is like the reading level isn't high. It's kind of trashy. That's more of what I'm going for, right? Like it's not
Okay.
trying to be like some super advanced literature. It's not trying to be
Yep, okay.
like this is probably very unfair. I don't read a lot of like literature in general. But my point is of the light novels that I see make it over into anime, a lot of them are very trashy, very like overblown power fantasy, that kind of thing.
Yep, I'm still listening. I just want to get a chair stop.
Oh god, Jesus.
I mean,
Okay,
like
where
the
was I-
really
Where
expensive,
was I
like
going with this? Okay, right. Okay, so back on topic. So they're like, oh, we want to make an anime. How are we going to make an anime? There are original anime, but then it's usually like, okay, let's just make something that people already seem to like, whether it's a manga, a light novel, a video game. Sure. So one of the reasons why I like watching anime as opposed to American television is because there are the shonen that run forever, right? There's your One Piece and your Naruto and your blanking, your Black Clover. Like I could keep rattling. It's not important. There are some that are like seasonal and go on forever, and I don't really watch those because I get tired of them. But I enjoy watching anime because I'm like, okay, it's gonna be like a 13 episode thing, and it's gonna be like an arc, and like it'll go from start to completion, and then next season I'll get to watch something else, right? Like they're all more self-contained, so it has kind of the additional time to breathe that you don't get from watching a movie, but also you kind of just like get to have a self-packaged thing and then like move on. But yeah, so I'm not gonna say that this season is gonna be like a full arc thing.
okay.
Because this is more of slice of life. This is just kind of people vibing. But yeah, that's sort of what to expect. So like you watch the first episode, there's another part that we discussed. It's like, oh, the pilot has to stand alone. And I'm like, no, I feel like you generally have to watch roughly 3 episodes to really know what you're going to get out of an anime.
I have opinions about that.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead. What are your opinions about that? I mean, go ahead.
So I don't know like standards like movie filmmaking is one thing. I think it's a little bit like TV, right? You have to sell the pilot here in the States. Any movie that's a good movie will tell you all the promises it's going to deliver on in the first 15, 20 minutes, right? The first act, and then you watch to see if it gets there by the third act. Like, that's very typical. I don't know what the hell to expect from anime, but I would still think like it should give me a good enough taste. I did walk away from this kind of being like, what the hell does this guy see in her, and why would he keep hanging out with her? Like, I found his reasons really flimsy because she's really annoying. Like,
Is she really annoying?
Yes. She like shrieks at him. She's got the crazy fang in her mouth. Like, why does she have this fang? Do I have it in the? I guess in the first picture I have it of her. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? That's not in the
why does she have
flashbacks.
that?
Like, what?
Huh?
What is the fang?
So the fact that it's a skin colored fang is regrettable in my opinion. But like a fang tooth is like a trolley, like
Oh, does it just
It's
make
a-
her
like-
more like blah?
trolley. Yeah.
Okay, all
Not
right.
bleh. Come on. What's wrong with you? How dare you?
I mean,
Yeah, it's a trolley thing, right? So like God, I couldn't tell you where it came from specifically. It's probably because like maybe cat girls, I don't know, but like it's a character thing, right? Like
Okay.
you put a troll on a cat. Like it's, I think it was legitimately in Animal Crossing, like that was an option to have like a troll tooth or like a fang to make
okay,
your character
fair.
trollier.
But I mean, looking over most of my notes,
Yeah, that's right. Sunless is right. It's make her look like a brat because she's a brat. That's what she
she
is.
is brat. I mean,
Yeah.
this was one of the notes I wrote. Was just like one, her eyes, but it's like OMG, why the boobs, also the cat. Like, that's kind of actually my notes, rinse and repeat, for like 2 pages.
Wow. Wow, those are some great notes.
like, like this no, all right, so they establish she like he has his afternoon off, he's gonna go watch a movie on his own. And
Good shot. Yeah.
so, which I think going to the movie is fine. I've done it before, but she is so hardcore about how I have like loner equal bad question mark. Like, just she's so mean to him about it, and it's like, calm down. And so I wrote, he seems fine. It's all her problem. And then, and then it was weird. Like, why did they feel the need to explain pulling the nose up is fairly painful? Like, why did that need to be a thing on? Is that like, will anime emphasize stuff like that with written text?
That one I can't really explain, except some people might not realize what he's doing. I guess it's kind of hard when you're seeing it. Is it like, is he just squeezing her nose, or is he intentionally pulling it up? I can't really explain that one, but.
Oh yeah, wait, but that picture, like, I laughed genuinely out loud both times viewing him, like, turning away and shaking his fists. Like, that was hilarious.
Okay, so you're admitting you're laughing at the show, but you're also like, why would someone watch this?
No, I didn't say why would someone watch this. I am trying to break down this slice of life genre and then trying to understand, like, she's just like feels crazy and I don't understand, like,
She's not that crazy.
she's not that crazy?
Like, she's not yandere or anything.
I don't know. Yan who?
I know you don't know what that means.
Like, I don't know. So I'm pulling up. I was curious about that, and then I'm like, she just has an orgasm in the massage chair. It's like, what is also happening here? Like, why?
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
also
So like
related
back to my
what-
point, right? So, I'd argue that generally, like, it takes 3 episodes to see where an anime is going, but that doesn't mean that it's not trying to give you an impression of what the show is. And if you can sort of imagine, this started out as a manga, which means that someone is, like, roughly it's a comic book type thing. Like, if we're trying to go for American equivalents, which
Okay.
means that, like, the author is slowly building characters, and he's mostly going to start with a comedy, right? So he's like, here's the two main characters of the show, here's some of their interactions, here's some funny things that happen to them. And then, like, yes, there's fan service. Like, obviously, she's a fan service character. I'm not going to try and deny that because that would be stupid. You're like, why is her boob so big? Because people like big boobs.
Is
I don't know what to tell you.
general anime for the male gaze?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. So this one is like the demographic is shonen, which means young boy. Sorry, teen
Also,
male.
we're a half hour
This is
in,
12 to
and
18.
you said that I could drink.
I know. Oh fuck! All right, yeah, go for it. Oh, I just cursed. Whatever, we're doing it.
I already cursed too. I have a little
so-
baby sake, everyone. I'm probably not going to drink that much, but if we should do sake when we do these.
I don't. Okay, next time I'll order some or
I just
something.
have this.
What was I explaining?
Is anime for the male gaze?
Yes. Okay. Sure. So, I mean, I could say in response to that, like our comic books for the male gaze, it's sort of a similar situation where, like, traditionally speaking, a lot of anime and manga was produced for the male gaze, which isn't to say that all anime and manga is for the male gaze, especially yaoi, but like a lot of it predominantly is for the male gaze. And in this scenario, like the genre is for the male gaze. Yes. Because without like, so it's a thing where there's multiple like media things. So like when they're like, we're going to make an anime of this show, I'm not trying to say that they're trying to make the anime not profitable. Like obviously they would like to make a profit, but what they're really going to make money off of is now that there's broader exposure and people know about the show, people are going to spend like hundreds of dollars buying figurines of this character.
Oh, right. We were kind of talking about this at some point. So there's probably,
Yes.
what is the phrase on her, the super huge, the shirt? Like definitely when I was just looking for images of her for the thumbnail, I saw you could buy that shirt.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can buy the shirt, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like let me Google it right now. Uzaki-Chan figures.
I mean, I can,
Yeah.
look at
And
it
you
as
can be
well.
like, oh, do you want to spend like $200 on a figure? Do you want to spend like $175 on a figure?
Wait, so is anime in this category, right? Like going back to childhood, you know, effectively, I think it was like Hasbro or something that like put out He-Man and She-Ra, and it's like you come out with the toy line at the get-go.
No. I mean, sorry, it depends
What do you mean,
on
no?
the show.
You just explained that.
Yeah, I know. I just explained. It depends on the show. It it depends on the show. I was about to be like, I don't know if like necessarily Naruto or Dragon Ball Z makes money off of merchandising, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, they sort of.
That's
probably
all
still
I
make a
know
lot of money
about
off of
Dragon Ball Z
merchandising.
and some other random crap I've spit out about Vegeta and Piccolo or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I
I
guess
know it
that's kinda-
because,
yeah,
like,
okay. Yeah,
JT
probably
and I
a
think
piece.
Alan wear the things, the jackets with the symbol.
Yeah.
And that's, like, what I know.
It's hard for me to say as someone who's obviously sorry. I should like as someone not from the industry. I don't know what the rev split is on terms of like what makes the most money, but an aspect, yes, is buying other stuff.
Okay. But then, I mean...
Another thing I can say is another aspect of like Dojinshi. Am I saying that right?
I don't know. I don't know what that...
Dojinshi, sorry. Is self-published works, so it's like fanfic kind of, but because people in Japan draw a lot of stuff and
Okay.
like, so there are events where you go and you buy like this fanfic and like you can imagine what's happening in some of this stuff with these characters. Like that, I'll leave that to your imagination. But like, yes, that is probably also a thing that was in mind with the production of the show.
Okay.
But like, yeah.
I mean, I want
It's
it
also
to
a
be...
romance show though, so I'm like, like they're two people, like they're flirting. Like I don't.
He does
Does that
not
not
seem
happen
like...
for other shows? Actually, that even happens for like Sherlock Holmes and people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna ship Sherlock and Watson." So I don't want to hear that it's weird in this scenario to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna ship the two characters."
I
I'm
assume
gonna write my
it's set
fanfic where
up
they do all
like
the smarts and happy.
I for a while at work, both of those guys are gone now from my team, but uh, when you had me watch that one Korean show, the K drama, Strong Girl, whatever.
Yeah, totally. Oh,
Yeah,
Strong Girl Bong Soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
Strong Girl Bong Soon. There's a contractor we had, and he was super into K dramas and J dramas, and he was like, "They're all the same. The leads start out hating each other, and then they get together, and then one of them like has cancer and almost dies, and then they're fine." So I would say that kind of shaded my like going into it of like assuming that regardless of how these two people come together, they're going to end up together at some point, or I assume that's explored. But and so having that in my mind, watching it, I wanted to find redeeming qualities, and I just found her really obnoxious, and it was hard. I liked him, she was just kind of butt. Be like GTFO.
I
Do you
mean,
find her redeemable?
one. What?
Do you find her redeemable?
So I guess I'll add some more context here. So when my first impression of watching the show was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be like a slice of life comedy romance thing, rom-commy thing, which is a genre that I like. And if you're like, could you list off a few other similar shows? I could do that. But also the voice actor is the same as Satanya from Gabrielle Dropout. And I really like her character there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know you don't know this. This is for other people who actually care about anime, Meg.
Hey, I'm trying to
like
care.
Gabrielle
Shush.
I know. Whatever. So Gabrielle Dropout, Satanya is similarly a very smug. I like smug characters, not so much the trolley, but the smug is like funny for me.
Do you relate?
And that's not a romance show. It's just a character, and she's sort of like a punching bag in that show. And I'm like, okay, same voice actor, similar character, and like she's gonna be the main heroine. I'm like, okay, I'll watch this. Like that's sort of what I came off of the first episode being.
Okay.
I understand that like for some people who had not heard her voice before, that'll be a new experience. And like I would one argue that she might grow on you. Two, I understand that's very polarizing. And three, like as someone who can relate to being a loner and is also a guy, like I'm probably going to be forgiving in ways that you aren't about the character in the scenario going on here.
I mean, I think also there was something that was just like niche for me when they're in the batting cages, which I wrote down batting cage bullshit. Because
What?
she throws out her back doing this like I mean I'm not that drunk, but my bat's off camera. It was a dump that just made me mad because it wasn't accurate.
Okay, break it down for me. What was the inaccurate part? That she threw out her back, quote unquote,
Yes.
or that it happened to her? Okay, but could someone injure themselves trying to do a full swing when they're unathletic?
I don't think you would injure yourself there.
Where would you injure yourself?
I mean, like, I would see, like, the side. It just
Wow,
was,
that
it
was
was
very
annoying.
specific.
It was an annoying scene. That's all.
I can't. You need to like explain to me what specifically, because I'm like, I think it wasn't like a funny joke. Is it because like I think it's unfair that the girl's the one who threw out her back, or is it like, oh, I just don't like the way that she got injured playing baseball because I played softball and that's not how sports works.
The last one. And then she's
Okay.
like on the floor on all fours sticking her butt out, and I was like, why though?
I mean, how else would you collapse? Whatever.
Uh,
I can't respond to this. Like, yes, there are anime that I've refused to watch because the inaccuracies in it bothered me. Like there was a recent anime called How Heavy Are the Weights That You Lift?
Oh
And
Lord.
the weightlifting advice they have in it infuriated me, and I could not watch beyond like
See?
2 episodes.
See, you get it.
So like that part fine, but like I'm not gonna tank the series because they had one baseball scene.
No,
and, like,
but it
someone
just
got
made me like her less. But
So now
honestly
you're gonna hold
though,
it against her that they wrote a gag where she injured herself playing baseball? I mean, okay,
no,
if you
but
want
what
to.
irritated me more that she was playing VR with a video game controller.
You can do that.
You can, but why? And then he gets up and then grabs her boob. That's what I wrote. The OMG, why the boobs?
Yeah. See, I was waiting for that to happen. So again, this is a classic trope. Um, it's sort of a classic trope, but it's like slightly reimagined. So the way that it typically works is either like the characters fall into each other,
Right.
sorry, crash into each other, or like fall on top of each other.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, and as they land, he's holding the boob. Like that's the classic way that it happens. And it happened in this, and I'm like, whatever. Like this is anime. Like I could take it or leave it.
All right. So I saw, I think, Chris saying in comments about one of his favorite animes is like more for teen girls. I know Sailor Moon exists. Gretzko, I obviously relate to being, working and some of the struggles she goes through, although not the arc from season 3 per se. But I mean, is it just when you say it's just anime? Are you referencing this? You said shonen, like
Shonen.
shonen. Like when you say it's just anime, does that actually also caveat into it's just insert category of anime?
No. That's more of like it's just anime.
Okay.
Sorry, I can explain better. So like there will be fan servicey moments. If you're familiar with what fan service like
Well,
do I
that's
have
why
to
I was
establish what
asking
fan service
earlier,
is, or
right?
Can you
Like
figure it out?
fan service, like to who? And that's why it's like okay, like I'm a Star Wars fan. I know what fan service means because it's hotly debated. Mandalorian's a 100% fan service show in a different way.
These are very different definitions of fan service.
Fan service is giving the fans what they want to an exaggerated extent and like kind of being tongue in cheek about it.
No. Look up fan service on Wikipedia, okay? Wikipedia has my back here.
Right.
Fan service is material in a work of fiction intentionally added to please the audience, often sexual in nature, originated in Japan in the anime and manga fandom, has been used in other languages and media. Okay, so like sure, maybe you can argue that there's ways to use the term outside of that context, but like it's definitely like generally sexual. And like examples are like a lot of anime have a random beach and or pool and or like onsen, like
Yeah.
to be like, oh, all the characters, they're in bathing suits, blah da da. Like that's just a thing
Okay.
that happens in anime, right?
Okay, then
As an
it's
example.
definitely gotten co-opted
Oh sure.
to other
that
fandoms.
happens.
Yeah. But all right, I will take that as the origin of the definition, and now we'll understand that fan service also means sexual in nature. Wasn't adding that piece in earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, just like other general notes I had beyond all the what we will wrap around as fan service stuff is it was interesting to see some mixed media in there, like when they did the VR stuff that they didn't animate that as well. I thought some of their B shots were really bizarre, like just her feet shuffling up at one point. There's a weird shot when they're in the movie theater and she's looking at stuff, and it's like a weird mid-back shot of her backpack. Doesn't show off her butt, doesn't show off like anything. It felt like weird B-roll that someone animated that should have been throwaway. And it's something I do appreciate with animation in general is the ability to really emphasize and make reactions and scenes feel like when they add like the emotional like when her eyes get all like pointed arrows because she like is looking extra trolly, or when he's frustrated and has like the stripes on his side of his face. Like I appreciate those kind of things as well too, that you can kind of do with this medium.
So you're saying that you appreciate the pros of animation?
Yeah, but it's also how you use it.
Exaggerate and accentuate in ways that you couldn't do with like real life media.
But what I'm also referencing specifically with that last bit, I would say is, you know, known to anime specifically or starting out. You don't see Pixar characters doing some of those sorts of things.
Is that really true?
Let me talk about what I'm like really specifically trying to reference, if I can find a picture.
Sure, why not?
Not like exaggerating the eyes or zooming in and stuff, but it's like, I mean, it's the whole like, you.
Oh God, stop, please. You're gonna make people angry. It's a woo and a woe.
A woo and a woe?
Yeah, you just don't see a woe as much as you see a woo.
Okay. But like that to me like has a very distinctive, okay, gotta move my iPad so I can actually
Okay. Does this mean we're like touching into moe?
What is moe?
Yeah, I was afraid I'd have to explain what moe is. I'm not ready.
We can save it. We can save it for next episode.
Yeah.
Anime.
Well, I mean, like, we'll explore it as we watch more of the show.
Okay, images. Yeah, okay.
Check out Jen react. Oh, God.
Okay, so like...
Yeah, I'll let you finish what you're doing.
Like, can you see my screen?
No. Oh, I can see it now. It happened.
Like, these little, like... She's mad and there's like a little bruise on her face, or like those things. I'm not thinking
so, like,
really good word.
Animation.
No, it's not. It's you don't see that in Western animation. You don't see that in like.
That's because Japan does it better. That's really the only reason. If America,
I would argue that it's specific to Japan animation, or like that is clearly where the origin of it is. Like anime.
Yes, that is
like...
where the origin of it is. A lot of those, like, there's also like some amount of that from like, God, I'm not gonna do it for the viewers. I'm sorry. Of like idols of like K-pop and like Japan doing like weird things with their hands when they pose for pictures and stuff. But like, yeah, I agree that stuff comes from over there. But I don't think it like exclusively has to stay there either, is I guess the point that I'm making.
No, of course. Everything borrows from
like
everything.
At some point,
but...
some American media has done that. Like, it's a very extreme statement to be like, oh, it's only an anime.
Oh, I didn't say it was only an anime. I just that's part of the visual language of anime that like I'm not used to seeing, right?
Oh, okay, sure. So you're like, oh, this is a weird thing for me because I don't watch anime. Got it.
I didn't say weird, Paul.
Okay, this is a new thing. What, like, make it into a point so I can react instead of being like, here's a general statement.
It's just experiencing anime, I guess, and the different. It's like nice to see, not nice to see, but like, it's nice to experience these different tropes, as you've been like calling it. We'll use that word.
Is it a trope in this case? Is a style a trope?
That's a good question.
I would say no. But I have to think more about why.
I guess it's just a style. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a style.
It's a visual way to communicate. But I don't know. I mean, overall, like, I'm interested to see more. I think you're right that maybe we should watch for next time, like 2 or 3 episodes. I think we needed to just do one, though, first.
Apparently, because apparently you had a lot of questions. um, I
That's how
guess
you
like
do
my
it.
point and like why I say 3 episodes is because it takes usually 3 episodes to establish more of like to fully establish what the arc of a show will be and to get like some additional characters are gonna be, because like yeah, you saw it in the intro, there's obviously other characters featured there that you'll meet eventually.
Yeah.
um but right now we've only met 2 of them, so
We've
it's
met
like who are
3.
these
The
3?
cat. The damn cat.
God, I don't know if the cat counts as a character. I'd like to forget that the cat's even in the show,
Yeah, exactly,
honestly.
because it looks weird.
Yeah, the cat does look weird. That part I don't disagree. I don't like the cat. I could take the cat out and I'd be happy, but I'm assuming it was part of the original manga, so we're stuck with it.
So you think this was a manga first, or do you know so?
No, I know it was a manga first. I said that.
I don't know.
It started in 2017 and is still running. They're on 5 volumes. Meanwhile, the anime ran last season. Yeah. And I think it is there a second season announced already? Yeah, second season has been greenlit already for production.
Oh yeah, like at the end of the credits, what did it say? It was like, next time we'll meet the cafe owner. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like very direct.
What's wrong?
That
Oh,
wasn't a
what
teaser.
would
I
you-
just
what
was
would you-
telling you.
Okay. What did you want teased? I guess it's not that kind of show, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not trying to go for being super dramatic or be like, well, so and so died. Like it's not going for soap opera or like action movie, right? It's like, yep, they're people, they're doing stuff.
Yeah, it's just
Having
a
a good
different way
time.
of presentation. I'm just learning. I'm just learning.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Should we open it
It's
up?
two college kids kind of be like awkward and like flirty, but also not in a relationship technically.
Yeah, that was
Isn't
me
that
and one of my
wholesome?
friends in college. Everyone thought we were dating, and we were not. Should we open it up to our
But
to our
was it
audience?
like we're not like intentionally not and like have no intention to, or did you end up together?
We did not end up together. I would have dated him. I thought I wanted to date him. And then when I got over kind of the infatuation, if you will, I was like, I would have freaking killed this person, but we remain like really close friends to this day. Like I know his
Okay.
wife, like right, like we're all really good friends.
Okay. That also happens in anime, but like this is very much the like I know 1 or 2 examples of like 2 people who are like sort of friends, but like didn't ask each other out formally, but are like they're gonna date, right? Like this is gonna like waiting for it to happen. Like that's kind of what the show's
Oh
about.
yeah, no, everyone in college constantly asked us if we were dating. And then they would
No.
get single me out and be like, "Are you guys dating?" Cuz like I had my hair dyed, I think orange. No, pink. I had pink hair again in college. Full head of pink hair. I helped him bleach his hair blue. And so then we especially people thought we were together because we're walking around with pink and blue hair. And
It does have power couple vibes.
yeah, and he was an animator. I was in the live action side of production at our film school, and then I felt bad. Like it kind of sucks because everyone would be like, "Oh, are you dating?" I'd be like, "No, no, no," and they'd be like, "Is he gay?" And I'm like, "That's not fair. He's not gay."
He's a loner.
Which apparently is awful in Japan. Like what? Um,
It's
so
not good here in America either, is it?
um,
When have you heard someone be like, "Oh, he's a loner," like at a very like endearing and good thing?
I don't hear loner anymore. I feel like people have latched on to just they're introverted. And I think that for like I somehow over time have collected a lot of friends. Collected is a poor word choice, but I have a lot of friends who are introverted. And my mom's an introvert, and I think I've learned to just appreciate. Like I think that's also why I was frustrated with Hana, the character, is because in a lot of ways, like I used to hold some of those things of like, oh my God, you can't go out by yourself. That's so embarrassing. And what if you have no one to hang out with? And la 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 la. And then it's like, no, some people choose that, and that's totally fine and totally chill. And it's very freeing to go do stuff on your own. So I hear more the term introvert, and I feel like it's more like leave introverts alone and let them be introverted.
I'm torn.
Okay.
I hear where you're coming from and I get it, but also like there can be too much alone, like an unhealthy amount of
Oh,
alone,
for
in my
sure.
opinion.
For sure.
Okay.
I'm just saying that this like Sakurai or whatever his name is it felt like it was by choice too. He was like, "Yeah, I want to go to the movie and go see a movie, and it's cool, and I've got points, and it's a thing I do, and it's enjoyable for me."
Yeah.
Where she was like, "Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad you go alone. Oh my gosh, you're a loner. You bought my ticket. You have all these loner points." Like, I was like, "Calm down."
I guess, but like how much is she digging into him because he's a loner and how much is she digging into him because she can?
I mean, she seemed very aggro and like I don't know, super trolly. I gotta take my meds.
Okay.
It's a time. I gotta take my kidney meds.
No, I know. I think she's just being super trolly. I think that's what.
All right, catch up with the chat, and I think we should take questions from chat if they have it.
Okay. Yeah, Sean had a good question about.
BRB, let me take these
Oh,
drugs.
okay. Like you're just leaving me here. Bye, Meg. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. Apparently, I'm in charge now. What are you doing? That half an hour of finding something. Might not even want to do that. Might want to move around. Hi, Paul. Hi, Soonerator. 4.5 size. Yeah, I saw you guys have a side counter for me. I'm fine with that. What's your favorite anime of the season? Of this season? Ooh, this season's very new. Hi, Chris.
Also, hi everyone. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it. Well, I appreciate it.
Jeez, I have not found really a single anime that I'm super into this season. I think the most promising one is the Jujutsu Kaisen. That one's pretty good. Last season. Oh, like honestly, this was probably one of my favorite ones from last season too. But like this is a weird year because I feel like the amount of anime that I've been into this year has been less, and like almost like there's a global pandemic or something. Like I don't remember the anime that got.
When's the anime season? Like, what are you referring to?
They do 4 seasons. But if you had to ask me when they start and stop, I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's the start of the winter season because I'm pretty sure it's the winter season. What does Crunchyroll tell me? That's how I find out these things. No, it's fall still. Sorry. Jeez. Oops. It is the fall season. 4-season landscaping. The good one. Yeah. I'd have to think more about what my favorite ones of the last seasons. Like, if I had to pick what my favorite anime of the year is, it's the 2nd season of Kaguya-sama. And then I'd have to put more time into collecting my thoughts of like what were good anime this year, if you wanted more than that. Yeah, so were we gonna take questions from chat? Is that what you wanted to do now?
Yeah, I thought that's what you just did.
Oh no, I was just responding and saying hi to people. I know someone had asked what your predictions for the show is like in terms of the season. I don't know if we'll make the whole season, but where do you think this goes?
I think they end up together. And then they like foreshadowed, like he's like, how did she become this way? And so we'll find out whatever that mystery is. Right?
Okay. How together is together?
Dating? I think it will move towards them dating. I don't like see marriage or kid. Like I think it will just be like over this year, his junior year, her sophomore year. And if there's anything thrown in addition to that, it's just like, oh, we wrapped it up, yay. We also said there's 5 seasons of the manga, so I think it will
I
just
did not say seasons.
Or what?
Volumes.
Whatever.
It's different.
So I
mean,
think
you say whatever. It's like Game of Thrones books to Game of Thrones seasons. Like it doesn't necessarily match up.
I think they'll date.
Okay, you think they're gonna make it to dating?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think they'll kiss? Like let's dig in here.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like
Okay.
they'll like understand there's feelings there. He'll soften for her bringing him out and decides it brings him out of his shell. Maybe she learns to be a little bit less obnoxious. And then, much like he accidentally grabbed her boob, I think that then there'll be another stumble fall in which they kiss, and then they're like, oh my god, we kissed. And then they real kiss, and then they are like, we have to go think about this, and then they end up dating.
I'm like, I can't respond too much because I know what happens. I guess I don't know if I officially disclosed that. Like, yes, I've watched
Yeah,
the entire.
yeah.
I had watched the entire season before we decided we were doing this. Um, huge ambitions. Sounds like a K drama. Like, yeah, no, like what your assumptions are very standard from what I would expect in non-anime. Um,
Oh,
but we're not there. We're in anime town.
then I don't know. I mean,
Like there are some anime where for like seasons they just keep teasing it and dragging it on and nothing happens. There's some anime where like literally this season there's one where like by the second episode, actually it might have been the first episode, they're already married.
okay.
Like it goes from the like I met her to like I married her and like nothing. Yeah, so it's it's all over the place.
Okay, stand by what I said in my
Okay.
very biased American brain.
Sure.
Because it's only like 10 episodes. 10
12?
episodes, 23 minutes a piece or something.
12 episodes. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why I watch so much anime. It's 'cause it doesn't take too much time, in my opinion. Well, yeah, 12 episodes, roughly 20 minutes an episode. We're talking 4 hours.
I don't
Did I
think
do
they'll
the
make
math
it
right?
out of college. I think this whole thing will take place in college and they'll get to where they date. And I think it's just their kind of misadventures around town, or not misadventures, but they're slices of life around town, and
Young
we meet.
adulthood,
Yeah,
the spring of their youth, or something.
yeah.
Which is 5 anime in a month. That's easy. Those are rookie numbers. Sorry, I mean, partly I can get away with these statements because I don't watch shonen. If you were like, hey, Paul, watch all of One Piece, I'd be like, that's never going to happen.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah, which of the main characters do you feel identify with more?
I mean, I guess on some level, right? Like, yeah, Meg Sai won. Both for different reasons. Like I said, I used to.
That's not the question, okay? We're not doing politics here. We're gonna dodge around. You have to pick a side.
If I had to flip a coin or like hardcore go with one, probably the girl.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah. Obviously the guy. You're like obviously the guy. Like, oh man, being a loner, I know what that's like. Oh, a girl's just gonna bother me until we start dating? That would be great. Like that's the mentality I'm coming into the show with. You're like, that sounds blah. And I'm like, man, a cute girl annoying me until we date. That sounds terrible. That would be yeah.
What do you think of the art style slash animation overall? It feels very standard for what I would expect. It doesn't seem like it's standouty in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. They're not going for anything too fancy for sure. In with the genre. Also, like, again, this is one of those things where it's established by the manga, and I'm assuming it looks the same
Yeah.
or similar.
Any other questions? Otherwise, I feel like we should do this again.
Yeah,
Should
have
we
you
do
been
this
exhausted
again
of your takes?
next Friday? Wait, what?
I was like, have we exhausted your three sheets of, oh my god, why?
I mean, it was
What's
20
happening?
minutes. We've been talking at 3x the episode length. Yeah, episode rating.
Yeah.
I would give it. What's our scale here? What kind of scale? We're doing out of
Oh,
5.
yeah, we're doing out of 5 or out
Stars,
of 10.
10.
I mean, it's your call. I'm not an expert on rating things. Oh my god.
0 to 5, no half stars, mean, median, modal, 2.5, earful rules. Ellen with the real take. Yeah, I would give it a 3.
Yeah, same.
It was I was gonna say it was serviceable, but not in a fan serviceable way.
But like yeah.
Most pilots
that's
suck.
exactly.
Yeah, like most first episodes is just like there's been one pilot that I have loved to death and I've watched it a million times, and it's the pilot to Schitt's Creek. And that's, I think, does a really good job of establishing everything and is immediately funny. But otherwise, most stuff, yeah, it's got to warm up.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it's pilot, they establish the characters, the 2 main characters, so like this is what it's going to be, mostly them hanging out and flirting and being awkward. And then fan service because they need to establish that. Like that's I was gonna be like, that's an important element of the show. It's more like there are fan service shows and there are non-fan service shows, and this is a fan service show. There are more fan servicey shows which are like, this is not quite hentai but like this is not that extreme.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to go watch that and then discuss.
Why? You don't want to watch Peter Grill?
I don't know what that is.
You want to watch what is it? X Heroes? X something?
X-Men?
There are other shows. What?
X-Men?
No. We'll save it for another time. It's
Okay.
not important right now.
But I think for next time, let's watch like a solid hour of content, and I will take plenty more notes and probably do the same thing where I watch and pause, make notes, and then watch it the full way through.
Okay. I'll watch it again because, you know, it's a show that I liked. Yeah. God, actually, I feel like I can talk about that now right now. So if ever you had a friend who has not watched a lot of anime and they're like, I want to start watching anime, I would not pick this anime because while I like the show in general and like find it, like, I won't even say serviceable, I find it like generally good because it hits notes that I like of like rom-com, slice of life, okay. Like if there was less fan service, I'd be fine with that still and I'd still watch it. I would argue there's better shows in the same vein, and also like there are also just like easy better shows to say. And then like what anime would you pick? It depends. I'd have to know what the person wants. Like I would not have picked this show for Meg because I feel like Meg is not heavy into the like rom-com slice of life genre. Considering you don't know what slice of life is, obviously, but also like, are you big on rom-coms?
Rom-com is fine, right? Like, who doesn't love a good Meg Ryan?
Oh, you said fine though. You didn't say like that's your first.
Yeah,
pick.
no, I love classic '90s rom-com stuff. I love Will They Not. I think also, despite this being in front of a large number of my male friends, what's also weird for me watching the show is I've had really big boobs since I first got boobs. So I also watch this with a very slight discomfort. Let's put it that way. And so that also detracts because of I started hunching my shoulders from a really early age because I was really embarrassed. When she talked about pain in her shoulders on the massage chair, I was like, I know what boob pain feels like because all the ladies in my family, we have big old boobs no matter what we weigh. And so I think that it's so out there and exaggerated in a way is how I have felt at various points. So that's probably the biggest detractor out of everything for me because it just hits into an insecurity of mine.
Yeah. What I will say is that you're like, this goes to the male gaze, etc., etc. And I'm like, you're anime and or shonen and like the whole big boob thing. And you're right, but also like one of the things that I feel frequently brings some women into anime is because they identify with like some of the outlandish proportions that are in anime, and they're like, oh yeah, big boobs, I have big boobs, I can relate to this, and or like look like this, not in like quite necessarily the completely exaggerated ways, but like short woman with like big boobs. And I feel like this influenced my life.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
Trevor is the
I
one to
think
blame.
this is when I relate to being a woman and parts of being a woman, what has been displayed thus far in the first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, there's one part where I'm like, I kind of get it. But then otherwise, it doesn't feel it's for that sort of relating.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. No, it's not there for like creating, oh, I empathize with the character. I mean, you empathize with the shoulder pain. You don't empathize with the fact that they then seize the opportunity to make her make sexual noises.
and then just the constant jiggle, and then it's like, oh, I just want to go like this. Like,
Yeah. But also, like, it's like another reason you're like, why is she like this? And I'm like, because for making an innocent character, that juxtaposition like works kind of, right? Like,
sure.
if
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
was, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that that is also like if you're saying like I approach this from a loner, I'm like also approaching this from like, oh, big boobs are a really big pain in the ass.
That's what I hear. Yep. I wouldn't know, but I hear that a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, otherwise I'm excited to check out more. She's a wildfire, and yeah, I'm excited to watch more. So
Wildfire?
should we
Oh,
do
geez.
this
Okay.
again next Friday, I guess? Is that gonna be our thing on Fridays?
I think I'm free. Yeah. Let's do One Piece instead. No, no one has time for that. And I
What's
really
One
don't.
Piece?
I won't insult One Piece because many people love One Piece, but I think they're at like 700, 800 episodes.
Oh my god.
Well, this is what I'm talking about when like there are long running shonen. Like I don't know how many episodes there are in Dragon Ball if you included like everything. Okay, they're at 949 episodes of One Piece.
Nope.
And the art style changed at least once, if not twice. And it's bizarre to me that that's the thing that happened.
I say that, but if it
Leave
was
One Piece alone.
Star Wars, I'd
Gotta
be all
upset
over
the
that
chat
shit.
somehow.
Wait, hey Google, how many episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation are there? It didn't hear me. I'm wondering the amount of episodes in Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, and if I've like effectively consumed maybe in that ballpark
There can't be that many.
of Star Trek, but
Can there? How long were the episodes? Yeah, no, the baby numbers. It's only 178. But also the episodes were longer, right? They weren't half an
they were
hour.
an
They were an
hour.
hour.
yeah,
But even if you multiply by 2, like it's still nowhere near the same runtime.
yeah. So yeah, so I think for next time, should we watch 2 or 3?
Kind of your call. I think we should do at least 2. We could do 3. Hold on, let me see what I remember from the synopsis of the episodes.
I'm not
Aw,
looking
that's
at
cute.
anything. I'm keeping it fresh.
I'm torn. I mean, these are all pretty good episodes. Like, I don't know. I'll watch them. I don't.
Okay, let's go for 3.
How many
Let's
do you
go
wanna
for
do?
3.
Okay.
Cause then yeah.
I'm trying to remember if this introduces any new characters. Maybe not, but you know, it's fine. Like we'll get some new characters in here, and we'll just get more of the show. And then you'll be like, Paul, why would you watch this? Nothing happens, and I'll be like, it's great. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Okay.
What?
All right. So we'll do episodes, 2 through 4. We'll aim for next Friday, and then I guess we can do post-show discussion back on the Discord, and then
Oh right, yeah.
I
Please
think
leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite anime of the season is.
watch
Tell me
more
why
of
I'm
our
wrong. That's always
content.
welcome.
subscribe, tell your friends.
Don't forget
Yeah.
to like. If you
And
subscribe to our Patreon, which doesn't actually exist, I'll get rid of this XSplit.
right. Yeah, so thanks, chat, for coming in and watching the show.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up and asking questions, keeping it
Yeah,
interesting.
it was good time. Okay. So
Wait, can we high five, kinda?
maybe?
Is it this way?
No, the other way.
The other way? This way?
See, this is why it's like.
My mic's in the way. Okay, good job, team.
Yay!